On the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the National President of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, Comrade Adewale Adeyanju. He brings us up to speed on several challenges workers in the maritime sector is faced with and what the union is doing to ensure that workers in the industry have a better welfare package. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
A lot has been happening in the maritime sector, and I remember very clearly that there was a time that the union insisted that the government needs to revisit the scrapping of dock workers and seafarers pool, and this will definitely increase security and safety on board. Can you bring us up to speed on if there is any development as regards this request to the government?
Thank you for having me on your program. I think it's unfortunate that governments do regulated activities in a wrong manner sometimes. The former MD of MPA, which I will mention his name, respect to him, was the cause of this problem of scrapping the onboard tally class and security men. The tally class play a very significant role in terms of revenue generation to take statistics of any cargoes coming in on board the vessel and coming in and going out of the vessel, both including that of exports. As it is now, who is taking records of all those cargo in Nigeria today? And why scrapping the tally class and onboard security men? And who is taking the records, like I said? So, and the union is clamoring for revisiting the tally class and onboard security men by bringing them back. It's going to be of a great value to Nigeria economy, because as it is now, they are losing a lot of revenue in terms of throughput coming out on board the vessels every day, both day in and day out, import and export, because that's their role. They tally physically and they give accurate records of what happened on board the vessel, both import and export. So we are telling the government that there's need for them to revisit this tally class and onboard security men and bringing them back. And if you look at onboard security men too, they play a very good significant role. They are the one identifying both the visitors on board the vessel, coming in and bringing some dangerous weapon on board the vessel, not allow some people that have no business doing on board the vessel. That is their job. And onboard women all over the world is being recognized. Because there's no how a visitor will climb a vessel without being checked. They need to check you. What's your business on board the vessel? Do you have any business doing with the captain or whatever? But as it is now, it will be given to private hands. That's, I can say, the terminal operators. They are the one putting the security of their job. They are not professional. That's the way I'm going to say it. Because the NEMASA, who happen to be the regulating agent, supposed to even sanction all the terminal operators and some of the shipping companies that are using illegal security men against the registered onboard women that was registered officially by government. So it has a lot of advantage than disadvantage. The government is doing a lot of revenue in terms of having scrapping tally clerks not to work on board the vessel again. And who is taking the record? Like I said earlier on, nobody. So they have now left it in the hands of the terminal operators, who are supposed to have engaged the tally clerks and onboard security men.
So do you think this was done to reduce workers in the port? If that is so, don't you think it's creating more risk for the port?
It is because those guys they laid off, they almost 1,500 workers that were laid off almost 2 or 3 years ago. We've been on top of this matter. The former MD of MPA, the respected former MD of MPA, Adewale Adeyanju, was able to even pay a lot the backlog arrears involving those tally class and onboard security men. With this present MD of MPA, they sacrifice a lot of energy by way of getting the money, the stipend they pay to them, which I think we commend them, we commend that woman, we commend the present MD of MP as well. But what we are saying is that they need to bring them back, try to reorganize them to a standard through NIMASA, because all the registered dock workers or whatever, all the port workers that are working in the port, they are under the auspices of NIMASA, who happen to be the regulating agent, who register both the unregistered one or registered one. So, but now everybody are running away of not even accommodating the tally class and port security men again, which I think they form the integral part of dock workers. It has affected the dock workers per se, because they have no job for the past 4 or 5 years now. They've been roaming about the streets since they pay them off. And that is why the union have been crying to all the stakeholders that there's need for them to allow them to come back. It will create more employment for Nigerians. They spread all over the port. They're in Port Harcourt, they're in Warri, they're in Calabar. And when you lay them off, what happened to their families? And that is what we are saying, so that they should do the needful by way of reconsidering their positions about the tally class and about security men.
Talking about collective bargaining agreement, recently the union embarked on a 3-day warning strike. Although it's been called off, can you bring us up to speed on what's been your experience as the president of the union as regards ensuring that your members get a better package, looking at the fact that right now inflation is high in the country, and to get a living wage, definitely this kind of agreement has to be updated from time to time?
Well, I think it is not better and bother to get something from these multinational companies. Not only that, average businessmen will always try to maximize profits at the expense of the poor workers by telling the whole world that they are not even making anything. So, but the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, we have a mechanism that we normally use in getting something better for our members. We put everything on the table, and we expected the management as well to do the same. Yes, APMT Terminal, who happen to be one of the multinational companies all over the world, I think the style of administration of this present administration of APMT, we believe is very harsh. They are not following the rules entails in the CBA. The union cannot just go on work stoppage without not declaring trade dispute against and hearing terminal operators or any management. So we issued out ultimatum, and they were adamant, and they have no regard for their employee. So we found out that the only option, the best option for us, is to register our annoyance that there was deadlock at the meeting. And I think we're able to get something better than before for the workers in APMT. But the issue of outsourcing is always the problem in the port today, where somebody has been a permanent staff in the same port, in the same company, and because you want to maximize profit, you now outsource part of your job to private hands. I think that is the problem in APMT, because majority of the workers of APMT, they have been on permanent employment, giving them salary, but what happened was that they deceived all the workers in APMT while they liquidated their gratuity. And when they liquidate their gratuity, what are they going to fall back when they retire? You can imagine somebody retiring in APMT is 500,000 naira. And we are now saying, no, that will not happen. And what we did was to have what we call revolving, revolving money, revolving between the workers and that of the management to replace the gratuity that was collapsed. So, and we felt there's need for them to change the narrative by way of increasing or adjusting that retirement benefit. But they said, no, they cannot, that is the standard laid down. And I said, well, if the standard is being laid down, there's need for you to review it upward and downward. So, and I think we're able to get something at the back of the crisis, and we're going to manage it for now. But the issue of outsourcing is still the order of the day, where the salary of those former workers at least supposed to be parley with the old workers, because they benefited from the past, but you now outsource them to another company. I think that's why we're having issues. And the union now say no to that, because even if we outsource, yes, fine, there's no big deal about that, but the workers of the salaries, I mean, their salaries should be what? Commensurate with their colleagues, that they are formerly a staff under you before you outsource them to another contractors. So I believe that is what caused the disagreement in our negotiation, and that is what made the union to say, okay, fine, since they are not ready to comply with the ultimatum, and I believe every stakeholders intervened and were able to allow peace to reign.
But would you say that you've been able to get fair wage for your members across board?
I cannot say it's fair wage, but all I know is that there's we've gotten something a little bit better than before. We've got something a little bit better than before, where for the past years in APMT, they subjected the workers to 5%, 2%, 7%, 8% in a year. So, and this time around, what we did was to say, no way, there's no how you're going to deceive us. Because APMT all over the world, they are international, they are multinationals, and they make a lot of money. We don't know their purse, but the workers that are working there, they were able to establish that these people are making hell of money. But it's okay, encourage the workers, empower them, give them what belongs to them. And they say no, they cannot, because they still believe we are still living in the past. So, and there's no how we will continue with that kind of style. So what we have gotten now, I cannot tell you whether we are okay or not, but I can say averagely, we are getting something better.
Talking about biometric ID card, recently you informed us that there would be that identification of those that have business in the ports. Can you bring us up to speed on this? What's the development? Should there be a time that members should be expecting this ID card? And what are the advantages of having biometric card for members?
I think the biometric ID card for dock workers, like we have been told, is ready. Letter of invite was sent to us about 3 weeks ago, but something happened at the back of it, where the terminal they were about using to flag it off was later denied them of having access to the terminal. So that's what delayed it. So I think biometric ID card for dock workers in the port have advantage, and the advantage is very enormous. Is to identify who are the real dock workers in the port. If I don't have any business doing in the port, why did I gain access to it? And this present biometric ID card they have issued out now, I think it covers all their database, the family, next of kin, and all the rest of. Unlike the one that was given in the past, it's like an empty biometric ID card. But the present biometric card is, I can say, is good. I've not seen it, but I believe it is good, like they said, because they take records of all the family background, the next of kin, and all the rest of it. So we are waiting for them to convey the meeting. You know, government bureaucracy is, they can be funny. 3 weeks now, we've not heard from them. Maybe they're still going to get order from presidency before they call us for another meeting.
Recently, the union announced that it's no longer part of the Maritime Transport Union. Is there any reason why this announcement was made?
Well, I think the port is very big, very large to accommodate associations and the union. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, we are organized labor, and we believe in principle and the rule of law. And the majority of people in Comptoir, some of them are employers of labor, they are equally than associations. And their mindset is different from ours. We felt there's no need to continue working with people who are employers of labor and they are businessmen. So, and the workers have seen us as if, why do we drag them into alliance with COMTUA. I was one of the founding fathers of COMTUA. We play a very good role, significant role, in order for us to support the policy of Nigeria Port Authority. But when we found that some of our members in the collaborations, they were against the policy of Nigeria Port Authority, and I'm representing well over 400,000 to 500,000 workers across the port. So I can't be sitting down where petition upon petition will be flying against the employers of labor, whereas if whatever petition that comes out, they'll be believing the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria are part of it. And I'm representing Nigeria Port Authority, the shippers, the shipping branch, the seafarers, and that of the dock workers, being regulated by government. So we have to look at it and see how we can manage our collaboration. But at the end of the day, it doesn't work. But our door is open for consequent collaborations if they change their mind to be of a good ambassador in the port. Because the way it is, we are not fighting them, we are not, they are brothers, they are friends, but there's no how we're going to work together in terms of the policy being executed by government. And because before they executed any government, any policy, the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria will be carried along. For example, the A2. All of us supported A2. And it's brought insanity in terms of trafficking on the road or whatever. It has brought sanity. But in collaborations with COMTUA, some of them kick against A2. So who am I and who are we, the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, to kick against what is going to help our members to get jobs? Because if the traffic is blocked, inside port, there won't be any job for our members. So the marriage of convenience cannot just continue. And if the marriage cannot continue, what you need to do is to what? Is to call it bye-bye. So, and if you have a wife that is giving you problem, and at the end of the day you marry another one, you don't know her characters. So that is what made us to say, okay, there's no need for us to continue with that marriage. But we are still partners in progress. Whatever that happened, they always call us. We can still talk as a friend, as a brother. So that's just it.
Thank you very much for your time, Sam.
Thank you for having me.